Okay, sorry about that long intro, but hey, we are back. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Clock Tower. My name is Maxwell, and we're just going to do a chill stream tonight, as you can see. This is basically the my birthday stream. A bit late on that one, my birthday was a couple of days ago, but hey-ho, better late than never. So, yeah, we're just going to do some tier lists. Well, just rate some bosses at the moment and do whatever lists that you guys want. So, let's start with... Well, we're starting with Dark Souls 1. Yes, the bosses from Dark Souls 1. These are ones I'm somewhat familiar with. I've not played a lot of Dark Souls 1. I have completed it. Thereabouts. I've not 100%ed Dark Souls 1. I know how to... I've seen how all the bosses are, at least. Excuse me. I've seen how all the bosses are, at least, how to beat them, and what they're like, and the attack patterns, that sort of thing. So I feel like I could give an accurate reading on what they're like. It's also bothering me that the bosses are not in order. Like it's the four kings are over here, and fucking this is the first boss here. The I forget what he's called now. The demon or something. He's a demon or something. I can't quite remember his name. Yeah, let's continue, shall we? So we're gonna. I'm gonna. How about I just go by how it is on here instead of just trying to work out which list is which. So we're going to start with the Four Kings, which is, in my opinion, it would be in doo-doo tier. Okay, second off, whoever made this, what is even this? Can I change? Yes, we can. The Dark Souls of Dark Souls. Great, adequate, bad, doo-doo, better chaos, reskin. I'm going to put reskin down here, but I'm just going to rate these as... I'm just going to put, like, a little thing. So, S... A... mainly for me. B... C... I've also not got my setup today, which is bothering me. But, oh well. My old Kindle decided it didn't want to live anymore, so... I'm going to put E. I'm going to leave reskin down there, because not all reskins are bad, but they need to be pointed out. So, to start off with, like I said, Four Kings. I'm going to put him in the bad tier. It would be doo-doo if not for the lore. I mean, these are the Four Kings that ruled over humanity under Gwyn's rule. Gwyn being the Lord of Sunlight and the purveyor of the Age of Fire, which is what brought prosperity to the surface world after they destroyed the dragons. These Four Kings basically were allowed to thrive under Gwyn's rule, essentially. They were kind of like his vassals, in a sense. But they were corrupted by... I nearly said Seath. It's not Seath. It would be... Calf. I think it's Calf. That one of the primordial serpents who's looking for the Dark Lord to bring about the Age of Dark. He basically showed them a way to take the dark soul, or drain the dark soul, or drain something from others, which caused the Four Kings to create the Dark Wraiths, and caused its basically New Londo's destruction, which is what they ruled over. New Londo. New Londo was flooded, and these guys fell into the abyss, where they, in a sense, thrive. good lore, right? Unfortunately, the boss fight is bad. It's essentially a DPS test. Because you see one of the four kings, and you go over and start smacking them about. It's not too difficult to dodge around, but I mean, hitboxes are a bit wonky, but other than that, you know, it's Dark Souls wonkiness. You can get over it, realistically. Oh, that reminds me. Sorry, bear with me just 2 seconds. I need to sort something out while I'm thinking about this. I will not be long, I swear to you. Why am I singing a Dragon Ball song while talking about Dark Souls? I have no idea. There we go. There we are. Okay, sorry, a little bit of self-promo. Why not? So yeah, it's a DPS test. You've got to keep smacking this one king before another one appears. Otherwise, they'll just gank you. And I don't like bosses that are DPS tests because there is more than one way to take down a boss in games like this. But yeah, also there is more than there is more than 4 kings in this fight. You can take down, I think it was like, someone tested it, it was like 13 can spawn, but no more than 4 can spawn at any one time. So there can only be 4 existing at one time, but 13 of them can spawn, but whatever. What they should have done is had 4 bosses with 4 separate health bars. I don't mind them spawning after like, say, 30 seconds after the first one. Don't mind that. But, come on, give them separate health instead of a shared health bar, but enough of that. Right, so I am going to choose this one. This is the first boss. I forget what the first boss is called, but I'm just going to put him. He's pretty doo-doo for a first boss, realistically. I mean, like, when you first see him, and the first days... Oh, yeah, I need to put these in reskin. I'll explain them. Well, this one's pretty bad, but this one has a bit of lore behind it. Like, when you first see him, you've got nothing but a broken sword, so obviously this guy's going to be really difficult to take down. But as everyone now knows, what you're supposed to do is run past him, run to the door on the left, grab your gear, come back, and if you know how to dodge his butt stomp and his giant mace, you should be fine. He does take a decent amount of damage from a basic weapon, so as long as it's not broken. I mean, if you can kill him using the broken sword, or if you choose the black fire bombs as your starting gift, if you kill him without grabbing your gear, you do get his hammer, which I hear is pretty good. So yeah, we're going to move on from this. Oh yeah, this one is in like you start off in the asylum, under the asylum, fighting this guy. But if you go to the north asylum, I think this is a part where it gets a bit muddy for me because I've not gone to this area. I've only seen it. So yeah, you can fight this guy, and he has basically the same moveset as this guy here, which is I forget his name too, but it's basically the I will not remember a lot of these names off the top of my head, but yeah. This guy is basically one of the last wielders of flame sorcery. And this is where people might get confused between pyromancy and flame sorcery. Flame sorcery is is basically more akin to the chaos flame. What the Witch of Izalith spawned from her ambition, essentially, and what caused them to mutate. Demons were born from the Chaos Flame. They're a brand new race, which were hunted down by Gwyn because he doesn't like demons. He doesn't like anyone apart from him. He's a bit racist, but whatever. Yeah, so these guys were basically kind of like, they're like priests in a sense. They would teach others, or teach other demons how to how to use flame sorcery, like the original chaos flame sorcery, rather than the pyromancy, which would be adapted by humanity later, which was taught by one of the daughters of the Witch of Izalith. So there's a little bit of lore behind this one. This is pretty good, but unfortunately it's just the same as this, but it's not a very good boss fight. And he doesn't even really use flame sorcery during this fight. He just uses like an explosion, which is the same as this guy. Annoying. There should have been more, is what I'm saying. Speaking of the Chaos Flame, massive disappointment of a boss fight, but really good lore as well, is the Witch of Izalith herself, which became the Bed of Chaos, which I could put in E because this technically is the bottom tier. This is just a reskin. But like, I hate this boss fight. It's either frustratingly difficult, or I am posting a letter to the other side of the street. Easy. You know, it's neither one or the other. And also, I wish, like Gwyn, I wish I could have actually fought the actual Witch of Izalith herself rather than an avatar, really. But you don't ever hit. You just hit this like little demonic thing, this like little cockroach in the center of it, which I hesitate to call the Witch of Izalith. But anyway, yeah, it's not good. What you're supposed to do essentially is destroy. You're supposed to run over and destroy the two, I say pillars or like linchpins on each side of the boss room to allow you to go through the center and one-shot the cockroach that is in the center to kill the Witch of Izalith. The main problem in this boss fight is her knocking you into bottomless pits because the floor falls out underneath you during the boss fight. And this is not a platformer game. This is not a platformer game at all. But yeah, moving on from the Witch of Izalith, we are going to go with the Gargoyle. There, I call him he's basically the Gargoyle. I'm going to put him in C. No lore, really, with this, but it's the first challenge you will get in this game. Because most sane people, will go... Just recounting. This is where like I've not played Dark Souls in so damn long. I played Dark Souls 3 more than anything, but I think he's the first one. No, he isn't. No, he's not. He's not really the first challenge. This will be the Taurus Demon. But I'm going to put him here. Yeah, basically, this guy's not too difficult to start off with. It's when another guy jumps in halfway through and they start like using a flamethrower attack. Also, the axe on this guy is pretty good. I chopped off, because you can chop off tails in this game, and I chopped off this dude's tail to get his axe, and I carried it all the way through into Anor Londo, where I swapped it for... No, sorry. It was a little bit past Anor Londo. No, okay, so I hit a roadblock in Anor Londo, went back, ended up in Darkroot Basin, and then I took down the then I took down the Black Knight there, and I got his, I got the Black Knight, glaive, I think it's called. Yeah, I used that for the rest of the game, which was pretty good. Oh, well, until I got the Black Knight greatsword, which was awesome. But yeah, decent boss fight. Not fought this guy. Okay, this is where, like, I've only seen things now, when it comes to, like, so, the Black Dragon, I forget his name. This guy, you hear that a lot, I forget his name, but, I will put in B, because I've seen the boss fight. It looks incredible. It's really, really, awesome to be fighting it's almost like you're fighting a precursor of the world, essentially. You're fighting what used to, one of a race of what used to rule everything. Also, like, the idea of Blackfire is just cool to me. I love that idea. And there's a attack he does where he freezes you in place with his third eye. It's the sound. I've just remembered his name, but anyway, it's the sound. It's like this high pitched whine. It's really really cool. But yeah, anyway. Oh, hi Kai Dark One. Sorry, I haven't looked at the chat for a little bit, but yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, also, I'll just, like I said, remember his name, Calamite, the Black Dragon of Calamity. What a name. Also, to start this boss fight, just remembering as well, one of the 4 Knights of Gwyn shoots him out of the sky, and the dude's blind as well. He's a blind giant archer, and he shoots him out of the sky. That's just badass. I'm doing well, thanks, Kai. How are you doing? So we'll move on. We're going to do the 2 demons next, because, yeah, you can either go up or down to, like, the undead village at the bottom where you beat this guy, or you go upwards towards the bridge to fight this guy. Both are pretty... I'll put them in B because they both serve their purpose. You know, these guys, like this guy is to teach you, just get close to him. Don't run away because he's going to catch you. Well, catch you as best you can for a big lumber beast. But like I feel like this boss here is to teach you that big lumbering bosses aren't really to be feared. It's the human-sized enemies. The guys that look like your character, they're the ones you should be careful of. But yeah, anyway, this guy is the one I meant to, realistically, who's going to catch you. But his boss fight's not really the difficult. He's easier than this guy. It's the dogs he has in this fight that really annoy me, and really annoy other people. Yeah, literally, this guy like tamed 2 of the dogs in the town. I think he even rules over it, but yeah. Not much more to say about these guys, but I'm going to talk about the centipede because this guy pisses me off. I'm going to put him in the bed of chaos because I hate him. I hate massive hazards in an arena, like big puddles of lava. I hate trying to fight someone on a little platform. I know you can drain. Like, I know the lava drains and it's easier, but like, I just don't like it. I would more appreciate it if we got the orange charred ring from this guy rather than this guy. But yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing well, Kai. And now we're going to talk about the Ceaseless Discharge. Yes, that is really his name. Which is a pretty bad boss fight, but a great lore. And we're going to talk about Kailanga. One of the Daughters of Chaos. I'm going to put her in B because she's a great boss fight. Okay, so Ceaseless Discharge. Ceaseless Discharge is the younger brother of the Sisters of Chaos, essentially. The Sisters of the Witch of Izalith. I believe he would be like the 8th child. He was born with terrible sores on his feet. And so his sisters, in Kailanga here, they gave him a ring, enchanted a ring for him, so that he could walk through the lava without being burnt by it, and it would soothe the sores on his feet. Obviously, all of these guys, they're pretty much immune to fire in the lore, lava in the lore. But I'm pretty sure if you got Kailanga and spawned her in Ceaseless Discharge's arena, she would die from the she would die from the lava. But whatever. He was one of the first demons to be produced. He literally, he was one of the very first that were really corrupted by the other than the Bed of Chaos, that was corrupted and transformed by the Chaos Flame. And that's what he turned out to be. And the implication that Ceaseless Discharge was a baby when it happened, it makes it really sad, because he really loves his family. And you know this, because when you walk into his boss fight, into his boss arena, what you see is he is mourning over an altar where he believes to be the corpse of his dead sister. and he's crying. He's literally just mourning over this body. And that is actually how you start the boss fight. You're supposed to loot the corpse to enrage him to start the boss fight, or you can attack him yourself. But, you know, lore-wise, that's what you're supposed to do. Obviously, that is not the corpse on the table. Is supposed to be... I got the names wrong. That's Quelaag. Sorry. Quelaanga is someone you meet later. Anyway, the corpse on the table is supposed to be Quelaanga. It's supposed to be Quelaanga. It's not Quelaanga. She faked her death. But Ceaseless Discharge believes it to be her. And he attacks you basically without regard for his own life. Because one of the ways you can kill him is you can run back towards the entrance and there's like a lava fall. And like a good halfway towards the path to come back. And he'll leap and grab onto the ledge in a last-ditch attempt to grab you and kill you. And that is an easy way to take him down because you're supposed to hit his hand and he falls. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and just dodge his lava attacks. But yeah, it's a really, really sad boss fight. Speaking of sad boss fights, Quelaag's not too more cheery either. She's defending her sister, which is the Fair Lady. It's described as the Fair Lady. People have given her a name, but I'm not sure if it's canon or not, so I won't. But she's described as the Fair Lady. She's defending her because what they're trying to do is create their own, like, to help demonkind along in terms of breeding, essentially. What her sister has done is laid loads of eggs because they've both, like, mutated at the bottom, as you can see there. That's like a demon spider or something. And a lot of the sisters didn't mind this. You know, they wanted this to happen because parasitic or, like, corrupted life is still life in their opinion. So they just let it happen. But because the Chaos Flame was like, you're going to kill the Chaos Flame and kill the main source of what should I say, procreation for demons, because they don't breed like we do. They literally are birthed from the Chaos Flame. So what they were trying to do was create eggs so that then they could birth more. Not to take over anything. These guys the demons just want to live in peace. The word demon is what Gwyn gave them. If anything, what would be a more fitting name for them would be Isolithians or something like that. You know, people like a race that lives and comes from Isolith. Yeah. And the saddest part is when you kill her, I think you get the Witch's Ring from her. When you talk to the Fair Lady, you find the Fair Lady is blind. And because the Witch's Ring allows you to speak in the language of the Fair Lady, she believes you to be Quelaag, her sister. Because she's the only other person that knows her name. Knows her how to speak her language. So, yeah, like, I think you could form a covenant with her and just keep giving her humanity to improve her health. But unfortunately, no matter what you do, the eggs die and she is not long for the world anyway. Yeah, I never said Dark Souls was a happy place, but yeah, the boss fight's great. She really, when you walk into a room, she jumps at you, she runs at you. And she has, like, lava pool attacks, and it's really, not to say difficult, but a different challenge after, like, having to go through a poison swamp. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm going to go with another character that I know about. Has somewhat of a more light-hearted or like a little bit happier sort of thing. You know what? We're going to talk about the final boss. We're going to talk about Gwyn. We're going to put him in A because he is a good boss fight. He's really, really good. He does not... he's the final boss of the game, and he is the test of everything you have learnt. He will not give you a second to rest. And it's all done in such a way that it's not too difficult. If you know how to play the game. If you put a noob and put him on the final boss, they'll say it's impossible to beat. But then you see people who have gone through the whole game damageless. It's amazing. But yeah, this while physically this isn't Gwyn in the lore, this is Gwyn in the lore. He isn't there. He died a long time ago. What this is essentially a charred out husk that's not pretending to be him, but is just instinct now. It's just runs on pure instinct and drive to protect the flame. To protect the first flame that gives light and warmth to the universe. And that is all he is now. You can see in his eye, he doesn't have any eyes anymore. He's literally hollowed out. He's literally a burnt out husk of what he used to be. And this was brought about because the Age of Fire was not meant to last as long as it did. Because essentially, it was supposed to go the Age of Grey for the dragons, where the immortal dragons that didn't live or die, they just existed. And so did the world. It was covered in this grey mist. Nothing progressed. And then something happened. A spark happened. Fell down one of the arch trees that littered the landscape. Fell down to the underground. And the beings that lived down there saw this spark and then saw flames erupt. This was the first flame. And the first... hold on. So we've got Gwyn, Witch of Izalith, Nito, and... trying to think. It's supposed to be 4 lords, essentially. So I've gone there. I'm trying to... I should have touched up on my Dark Souls lore, really, but... Nito... Witch of Izalith. So yeah, so the first game was Nito. He became the first to die and became the Lord of Death, essentially. The second was the Witch of Izalith, and then it was Gwyn. Witch of Izalith became, she harnessed flame for herself, but Gwyn became the Lord of Light. These were just sort of almost like dolls in a sense that were meant to be molded into something else, into something greater. But there was one that did not find a piece of the flame himself. He found something else. These pieces of the flame became became great souls for these people to become lords. But the furtive pygmy found something very special. They found the dark soul. It's rumoured that would be Manus. The pygmy would become Manus. But the age, they would come up to destroy the dragons. They would usurp the dragons. They would kill them with the help of Seath the Scaleless. The Seath the Scaleless was born without the immortal scales, without the scales that made dragons immortal. So he was bitterly jealous against the dragons, but because they were immortal, they just didn't understand. Why was he so bitter? But Gwyn and Seath made an alliance, and Seath revealed that the dragon's weakness was lightning, to peel away the immortal scales and to kill the dragons. After the dragons were defeated, they basically carved out areas for themselves, and Gwyn declared himself as the great ruler of the place, of everything, of the above world, and declared himself the Lord of Light, and this was the Age of Fire. Now, his Age of Fire was supposed to wane, like all fires are supposed to do. All fires are supposed to burn, 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 until eventually they fade away. What was supposed to come after was the Age of Dark, the Age of Humans. Humans were born from the Dark Soul, from the 30th Pygmy. They fathered humanity itself. He literally split the Dark Souls into a race of humans. And it was their turn next to essentially be the rulers of this new age. But Gwyn feared the dark. He was terrified of the abyss, essentially, because that's where dark essentially comes from, not just from Dark Soul, but that is where the origins of dark come from, is from the abyss. The abyss was described as calm and gentle before, but is now wild and untamed. Probably because Gwyn sealed humanity's dark soul in a ring of fire, and sacrificed himself to become kindling for this first flame to restart the Age of Fire. And that's where the whole Dark Souls thing comes from. You are supposed to emulate Gwyn by giving yourself to the first flame to restart the Age of Fire, so that the next one can never start. Hello, Jay. How you doing? Sorry, I just wanted to finish off that tangent before we continue. Yeah, we're going to talk about Priscilla next. I just wanted to talk about Gwyn for a moment. But yeah, this is a result. He's literally just burnt out by the first flame, literally kindling for it. We're going to talk about Priscilla next. Since we're talking about Sif, Priscilla is both Lord and Dragon. And of course she's going in S because she is best girl in this game. She literally doesn't want to fight. She's happy. Like, Priscilla, I'm not sure if she was supposed to be used as a weapon or not, but they were deemed as a failure, essentially, and thrown into the painted world of Ariamis. The painted world of Ariamis was essentially a dumping ground for all of Sif and Gwyn's failed experiments, essentially. Mainly Sif's, but Gwyn's too. And it's sort of an inside joke with developers of stuff that, like, they couldn't fit in the game anyway. Priscilla, she was content just to look after everything that ever came into the painting, including you. I'm sure she wouldn't have minded. Like, literally, if you are AFK for a while, she comes and sits by you. You know, she's a gentle soul, and she will raise her scythe, but she will not strike you. She will bid you to leave. It's you that has to indicate the boss fight. And it's one of the two boss fights in the game that are meant to break your heart, essentially. And she's not too difficult. I think her main thing is going invisible, and you have to track her footsteps in the snow. And yeah, you feel like such a bastard when you kill her. It's really, really bad. But speaking of the other one that also kills you, is our best boy. It's our best boy. Or our best girl, as some would believe. I personally think I personally think that Sif is a girl. That's just my belief. But it's never stated in game. It's up to your interpretation. But considering the word Sif is supposed to be from, I forget which goddess it's supposed to be from, but it's like it's an East European god's name. So goddess's name. So yeah, Sif. Literally all I'm just going to refer to them as they, but for them. So all they want to do is to defend the grave of Sif is Norse. Ah, gotcha. Thank you. Sif for he was Sif was all they want to do is to defend the empty grave of Artorias, which is this dude here. Artorias was Sif's master, both as, you know, I am this dog's master, but also they Artorias was also Sif's like comrade in battle, and also was the one that taught them how to fight. As you can see, Sif is wielding a blade just like Artorias' blade. There is two beginnings of a boss fight. One where Sif is just just aggressive, like to fight you off, and to stop you from ransacking the grave of their comrade or friend. And there's also another one where if you do the DLC before you fight Sif, they will ping you down, and they will recognize your smell. Because in the DLC, the DLC throws you in the past. She is the wife of Thor in mythology. Thank you very much. Sif, you save Sif from the abyss, from the darkness, and Sif even helps you fight Manus in the DLC. You can summon Sif to help you. Sif, because it's in the past, and Sif, and like so many years have gone through, they will recognize your smell, and they will howl, and it's a very mournful howl. Like, God damn it! Like, at the end of the day, you need to ransack the grave to get Artorias' Covenant Ring, so that you could traverse the dark to fight the Four Kings. To get Gwyn's soul, great soul. But yeah, like at the end of the day, you have to fight. It's fate now. You have to fight, and it's such a mournful thing because all Sif has done is defend Artorias' grave, and was never hurting anyone, and such a good doggo. But yeah, we're going to keep this sad train rolling with Artorias, who is also S tier. I've not seen this fight. I'm sorry, I have not fought this fight, if that is even a sentence that I can say. But I've only seen it. Artorias was, quite honestly, the greatest knight of Lord Gwyn. Lord Gwyn had 4 faithful knights. One of the other ones being here, which is Ornstein, that's his name, yeah. Ornstein the Dragon Slayer. This was Artorias, this is like Sir Artorias. They were kitted to fight the dark, as Ornstein, just like Ornstein was kitted to fight dragons. He fought against Dark Wraiths usually, and fought against them in New Londo before it was flooded. Not long after, Gwyn sent him away to fight the coming dark in Ulasil. That's it, in Ulasil, which is the home for golden sorceries, by the way. In the game, every time they talk about Ulasil, they talk about the great knight Artorias fighting back the darkness, to fight back against Manus, the great dark or whatever. You know, you believe that he was the one that pushed him back. But when you go back in time to Ulasil during this time, you find Artorias. You find the truth of the legends. Artorias was beaten down by the dark. You find him on the verge of being totally corrupted by the dark. His arm is broken, and he is just desperately trying to fight, just to keep that last shred of himself before he falls to the abyss completely, and just becomes this berserking animal essentially. And yeah, when you fight him, he's constantly trying to power up, and power himself up with the power of dark. And the only way to kill him of this is to kill him. And it's one of those things where you just think, God damn, you were built up to be this great person, but legends are always told in sometimes found in lies. So yeah, the boss fight is difficult by the looks of things, and very, very flowy. I can see why people love this guy. But speaking of one of the other Knights of Gwyn, we've got Ornstein and Smo, and Execution of Smo. Execution of Smo is not one of the 4 Knights of Gwyn, but wanted to become a knight. I'm gonna put this in A, mainly because the boss fight can really be mitigated by getting Smo stuck on the pillars, and that is basically the reason it's fair. They're basically trying to stop you from getting to Gwyndolin. Guinevere. Sorry, wrong person. That's Gwyndolin, just down there. To Guinevere, who is the second child of Gwyn, and is essentially the goddess of fertility in that world. It's like a dual boss fight, and in all honesty, their fighting styles are complementary to each other in this game. It's really, really, really good. Really good. But anyway, let's talk about one of the other children of Gwyn. This is another one I haven't fought. I'm gonna put in C because I feel like the boss fight was a bit rushed. It felt rushed. It felt underbaked. You essentially have to run down an infinite hallway to smack on the dude. I know he is supposed to be he's supposed to be like the god of moonlight and illusions and stuff like that, and it's the reason why there is a golden sun in Animal Londo. And remember how earlier I said that that Ornstein and Smo were stopping you from meeting Guinevere? Well, Guinevere doesn't exist in Animal Londo. She left a long time ago. Shooting the illusion of Guinevere destroys the illusion of everything else. And then you realise that all of the enemies you'd be fighting in Animal Londo, with the exception of the Painting Guardians, I think, and some of the Dark Moon Knights that attack you, have been illusions this whole time. So with the next one, Silent Tear Maker, I am going to talk about Dark Souls 3 next, and then Bloodborne, and then whatever ones we want to talk about next. Or hopefully I won't ramble on too much about Dark Souls 3, but yeah. I'm just going to see if I can power through these now, because the rest of these guys, with the exception of Seath and Manus, that's Manus, and Nito, these, I don't really know much about Nito, sadly, but these 3 really have, those are the only ones with lore, the rest of them are just about meh. So yeah, for a child of Gwyn, I expected a little bit more, you know. I forget which dragon this is, but I'm gonna put him in doo-doo tier because I hate fighting this thing. I really do. I do not like fighting this thing. It's boring at best and just frustrating at worst. Next one, realistically, there is really no lore either that I can find. Okay, so I can't talk so much until what we decided. Hopefully soon. We've got the Iron Golem, which protects Animal Londo, which is basically a robot. But I'm going to put a little bit higher, saying C, mainly because it's not as easy as this guy. Moonlight Butterfly. This one is just makes you wait. I'm gonna put in better chaos. This one just makes you wait. Yeah, like it's flying unless you got like magic or something. This thing flies until it needs to, excuse me, it needs to rest, and that's when you can hit it. So yeah, it's just one of those ones that just makes you wait and it just frustrates you constantly.
I'm playing.
I forget what this guy is called, but I'm putting him here because by the time you fight him, you can basically four-shot him. He's really, really fucking weak, and you need him for the Rite of Kindling. You need to kill him for the Rite of Kindling. Honestly, I believe he should. He was meant to be one of the earlier bosses anyway, considering like he's a completely different boss. Realistically, if you fight him like really early on, he's a challenge at that point. Like just the right amount to be an early boss, like I said. But by the time you actually fight him, when you're strong enough to actually go in between tombs anyway, he is distractingly weak. And then you've got the Sanctuary Guardian. I'm going to put in B. I've only seen people fight this thing, and it just looks frustrating, to be fair. I don't know the lore on this thing anyway. Well, let's talk about one of my favourite dragons of this series, Seath the Scaleless. I'm going to put in... Boss fight is pretty poor, but the lore's pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to put in B. Seath the Scaleless is the dragon that turned traitor for the rest of the dragons. And because he was mortal, he was the only one I think that could reproduce. I know Gwyn...
I should be streamed it now.
I know Gwyn awarded him dukedom, but I've heard some people say that he was also awarded his... Gwyn also awarded Seath his daughter's hand in marriage, which I assume to be Guinevere, but... You know, I think that was more of a case of trying to explain Priscilla's existence. But yeah, this is the guy that basically... the sorceries existed before, but he was the guy that created the crystal sorceries. And is what causes most people to go mad in this series, is trying to learn the crystal sorceries of Seath. But anyway, just to get through this last two. So we've got Nito, the Lord of Death. It's an annoying boss fight. All he ever does is he just explodes. He just causes disease upon everywhere, and that's it. That's all it is. And he summons skeletons endlessly that bleed you dry constantly. But yeah, like I had trouble mainly because of the skeletons, not him. Then we got Manus. I've never fought Manus, but I'm gonna put there just purely for the lore. Like literally, this was like the precursor of like. People have... I honestly believe that Manus is the furtive pygmy's name, but the furtive pygmy was never supposed to be anything. But yeah, he is the reason everything in Udacil is happening, but if anything, the people of Udacil brought it upon themselves. But yeah. So,
basically you put two slimes together and they can they create these little fox.
So I don't know what we can do it. We're connecting Australian account, Australian. So oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah. So yes, that is Dark Souls. Yeah, that is Dark Souls 1. There. So we'll move on to Dark Souls 3, which I have a lot more to say on. Or at least I know a lot more about Dark Souls 3 than anything else. So we just stop that and... Here we go. Okay, so we're going to start with, at least I know the order more or less of these here. Here we go. Right, so these are all bosses of Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 takes place quite possibly thousands of years after Dark Souls 1, to be fair. It's never really stated. But considering everything has ground down to ash, essentially, we can presume how long it's been. So, the first one is Udex Gundyr. This is the very first boss you fight. And fun fact... fun fact, everyone.
Oh, bless me.
This is the boss that Super Mario can't beat. Sorry, she sat down. She sat right next to me. She just gave me a "how dare you" sort of glare. I'm gonna put Udex Gundyr A because oh my god, his boss fight. I'm actually might as well put where is the other Gundyr, because you fight a better, like a prime version of him as well. It's not here from what I understand, but I guess they may just added him there. So that, yeah, okay. So Udex Gundyr is supposed to be the judge. He is to judge you on whether or not you are worthy. Here it is. On whether or not you are worthy enough to become the chosen Ash, so that you can take on this pilgrimage, this journey, to Link the Fire once again. The first time you fight him, he's basically like much weaker than his prime version, and he has like don't be mean, you monster. I can't help it. Yes. He also introduced you to the concept known as the Pus of Man, which is what darkness has erupted into in some people. It's also to attest to how long he's been there, but Udex Gundyr was also like you. He was you at some point. Not literally you, but he was in your position. Oh, there we go. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, he was supposed to link the fire in your stead, but he found his firekeeper dead, and he was essentially jailed in this place into this duty. And when you look at his weapon, it's supposed to never crumble. It's supposed to like exist forever. So it gives you a question: was this what he was supposed to do from the beginning, or what they caused him to do in the beginning? And then when you fight him, I would say in the past, because there's an area that sort of like it's like a dark version of the Firelink Shrine that it takes you to the past almost, because you fight Champion Gundyr, and you are perhaps the reason he's jailed there.
You bastard.
And he's much more difficult. He's a lot more nimble, and there's no Pus of Man, and he's supposed to be like, hey, you fought the tutorial version of me, how about you fight the real version of me, motherfucker? You know, that sort of deal. So, yeah, really good boss fight. Next one, I'm going to put the tree balls down here. He's not a great boss at all. He's only really there to... Well, first of all, he's a DPS test. I do not like DPS tests. Secondly, he's only really there as a catalyst for... essentially for a... I'm trying to think what it's called. It's like a kiln that you bring back to one of the people on the thrones in the room. It's lies and not even square. You didn't even get that far, man. Yeah, and so then you could get boss weapons, essentially. Yeah, the lore on this tree is basically you find him in the undead settlement, and he's supposed to be a spirit tree. Spirit trees are a really mysterious race of sentient trees in Dark Souls that are never really touched upon much. They weren't around in Dark Souls 1, they only appeared in Dark Souls 2, and there was only like a couple of things on them, and this was, I think, one of 2 mentions in Dark Souls 3. What the people of the town did was put steel curses inside the tree so that they could possibly purify those curses. But what ended up happening is in the quote-unquote belly of this tree, it festered and became the curse-rotted greatwood, which is its actual name and not really tree balls. The reason I call it tree balls is because you're supposed to pop curse-filled pustules on it, and is really, again, a DPS test. If you haven't got enough DPS, he will crush you. But, yeah. Next one, I'm going to choose the Sage. I think this is the Sages? So we're going to... yeah, this looks like the Sage. I'm putting C pretty much because this is another DPS test. This is one of those things where, like, it either kills you... It either like stomps you or you stomp it. It's never in between, and you've got to have like a fast weapon that does a good amount of DPS or something that does a lot of DPS in one shot. Because this guy, he will smack you. He'll stay in one spot, shoot you with magic, and if you start hitting him, he'll disappear. And then later on in phase 2 of the boss fight, he will make clones. Which is always my favourite thing, especially with magic. You know. The lore on these guys, they are... the one you fight as a boss fight is the one that aligned itself with the Undead Legion, which we're going to be talking about in a moment. The Undead Legion of Farron. And considering how long I've been talking so far, I think I'm going to leave off Bloodborne and talk about something else after this one. Yes, this one allied itself with the Undead Legion of Farron to teach magic to its members to strengthen and diversify their skill sets, essentially. So then the Undead Legion of Farron had sorcerers, spellcasters, essentially. The other one, there's another one that fight, and it's revealed to be twins. The other one is in the Grand Archives, and that is he's like showing, like he's showing like the crystal magics, or it could be the reason the king learned crystal magics and became a dragon. But yeah, next one, because I have really nothing more to say about them. The Deacons of the Deep, I will put into C, because at least with tree balls, the DPS test is not as bad. So essentially, Deacons of the Deep, they are a group of, say, 50, I think, deacons, of deacon enemies that you have fought all the way up to in this place. In the Cathedral of the Deep. What you're supposed to do, there is a soul that flips between certain members, and you're supposed to kill the one who holds the soul to hurt the health bar. The more you do that, you think you do it 5 times, and then the archdeacon comes up and you have to fight him. Essentially, like Deep Pope. It's that sort of deal, and you got to take him down. The reason why this could be difficult and why this is a bit of a DPS test is A, you have to have enough damage to take these deacons down in 1 or 2 shots, realistically, or the fat ones in 4, before they start swarming you. Or when if you get into phase 2. If you don't have enough damage to out-damage the healing buff that some of the deacons around the Archdeacon has, they'll start like summoning what I think is the Deep itself to curse you. And curse in this game, it builds up and it kills you immediately when the bar fills completely. It just kills you immediately. So yeah, that's the reason why it can be a bit of a DPS test. If you have enough damage and you've been like min-maxing the whole game up to this point, you just stomp them. Just is a complete wash. But we're now going to talk about an amazing boss fight. One of my favourites in the entire Dark Souls series, in sense, is the what do you call them? The Abyss Watchers, that's the one, the Abyss Watchers. So these guys are essentially the elite fighters of the Undead Legion of Farron. The Undead Legion of Farron was is a legion that comes from Farron, and they're undead, obviously, as what the name would suggest. But they are essentially what the Legend of Artorias produced. They are meant to fight the Dark and beat them back, just like Artorias did all the way back in Dark Souls 1. The problem is with that is that, as we know, the legend is a lie, and these guys are just people. They're just humans, essentially. They're fighting their own... Realistically, they're fighting their own nature. And this is like one of the main lords you have to fight in the game, because what they did as a collection, the Abyss Watchers themselves, as a collection, because they share the same blood, not because they are related, but because they took in the blood of the Wolf Master that oversaw the entirety of the Legion, and because of that blood, they can fight like wolves, essentially, or hunt like wolves, and it allowed them to have enough strength to link the fire as a unit rather than as one person. And in the fight, what ends up happening is, because the lords have risen from their graves and have not returned to their thrones, and that's the reason you are fighting them in this game. They will not return to the thrones. So, when you find the Abyss Watchers, this is the first lord you fight out the reason they haven't returned to their throne is because they're fighting one another to the death, but they can't die because they're undead. So they're forever fighting in an endless loop of just trying to kill each other until you turn up and then they try to kill you. But in the fight, they're trying to kill each other. And then their souls unite at the second phase, and you're essentially fighting the spirit of the Wolfblood Master himself. And that's just an awesome concept, in my opinion. Such a great boss fight. It's still one of my favourites. Next one. We're going to blast through a few of the ones that just don't matter. Like, for example, this. The Ancient Wyvern was supposed to be so much better. So much better than what it was. It's like one of the original wyverns. Or at least a wyvern that was once a human, that a human became a wyvern, whatever. Because there's a dragon covenant in this game. But you can't join, I don't think. But yeah. Yeah. It's not really a boss fight. What you're supposed to do is jump on its head and it dies in one shot. That's not a boss fight, in my opinion. You fight him any other way, you're doing like 90% less damage. So what's really the point? I'll put this... I forget what this guy's called, but I'll put him in C as well, because at least he's better than this fucking guy. Vort, that's his name, Vort. He's the second boss in the game. And you find him as you're trying to leave Lothric itself, which is like the main area of the game. And yeah, he's just a big lumbering dog thing. I don't know. I like it. I like the lore behind it. Like him and the dancer. They're both outriding knights from the Boreal Valley, and they were like turned into beasts, which is why he turned into a dog. And I don't know what she turned into, but yeah, it's while we're talking about. I might as well talk about the dancer. She's an A, definitely. Actually, no, I'm putting her in S. She's a perfect challenge for when you fight her, and an insanely difficult challenge if you just choose to fight her at the very start of the game. She would be the second boss of the game if you decided, or the second or third boss of the game if you decided to go, nah, fuck it, I really want to beat myself over the head today. Yeah, no, because she's supposed to be fought at the beginning of the end game of the game, essentially. But you can fight her at the beginning, essentially, and she will one-shot you unless like you have built yourself and grinded, you know. Yeah, she, like, as you could say, she's a dancer. She's a dancer of Boreal Valley. She moves in with grace, as a dancer should, and she will combo you. Simply put, she'll combo you with, like, watch videos. I've seen people, like, going, oh yeah, the dancer, I've fought her thousands of times, you know, just stick to her ass, you'll be fine. And then, like, and then she'll just grab them. I've seen it happen so many times before. Oh dear. There's also a little bit of lore behind her that, like, she is either a daughter of Guinevere, or she might even be, like, the queen of Lothric herself. But I will get into that in a different video, because we've talked long enough on Dark Souls as it is, and I'm just trying to breeze through as much as I can. What else? What ones can we breeze past it as well? We can breeze past this guy, which is the Dragon Slayer armor. I would usually put him in A, but I'm going to put him in B because recently, I've seen, like as of recent, last time I played Dark Souls, I was like beating this guy without getting hit, so like the challenge isn't as good anymore. Or, like, realistically, as long as you, like, can just get out of the way of his axe, you're fine. and if you actually know, if you can recognize the hitbox on the shield, then you're definitely fine. The difficulty can be from the giant moths that are in the boss fight that can attack you, because you have no way of really telling where they're going to hit, so that can be a little bit frustrating. So yeah, we could Wolnir as well, put into D, because, like, all you have to do is shatter his hands and he disappears. This one as well, this one just pisses me off. We won't even, like, talk about this guy. Is there any more that I can breeze through without getting too much into the lore? Maybe this guy, because we could do these two together because they're actually related. So, I'm going to put the grandfather demon here. I forget his name, and then we could put the demon prince in S. So, these two are actually related. It's like the old king. That's it. There we go. This is the old demon king, and this is the demon prince. They are actually related. They are the same royal bloodline of demons. This is, like, a demon that supposedly existed since the Chaos Flame originated, and he could still remember the old Chaos Flame, the original Chaos Flame and everything. And literally, he's one of the last of his kind. And you kill him. And then in the DLC, the final DLC, you meet the Demon Prince, whom are literally trying to rekindle the old flame of chaos, just like you do with with the first flame, and you kill them. And it's canonically revealed, realistically, that was the last demon. That was the very last demon, and now that you have made demonkind extinct yourself. So congratulations, you committed genocide. Anyway, I'm going to leave. I'm going to move these across. So I'm going to put that one there. This one here. This one here. And because these ones I can see myself talking a long time about. Actually, I'll put these two first, realistically. Yeah, like that. There we go. We'll talk about... No, we won't talk about that. I'll just put it in C. I'll talk about the boss fight. The boss fight's frustrating. The boss fight is dodging magic attacks constantly while getting comboed by floating energy orbs. And trying to hit something that leaves a trail of fire across it constantly. So essentially, you're just getting hit by a million things. And yes, what this boss fight is basically is, that's Gwendolyn at the top, And at the bottom is the actual Lord that you're supposed to throw on the throne, and Aldridge, that's its name, and it's devouring. Like, this is a corpse. What you're seeing is the corpse of a god. And what is beneath it is a big black mass just devouring it and manipulating it as it's going along. It is really fucked up. This guy, the old king of Lothric, I forget his name. I don't really have a lot of feelings for this guy. He's basically Sif in this game, except he is a man that turned into a dragon and has an invisible baby that it survived the boss fight, apparently. Yeah. Talk about the Twin Princes. Yeah, the Twin Princes are in A. I really enjoy the Twin Princes boss fight. The Twin Princes boss fight is essentially you need to be on point with the dodges, otherwise this guy will fuck your day up. He's got a big flaming sword and he knows how to use it. And while he's technically a paraplegic, he's only like moving on his knees essentially and can't stand up. Because he does stand up during the boss fight and then falls straight back down again. I don't even know if that's even paraplegic, but whatever. He still knows how to wield a blade. And the thing is, he's not even the Lord. The final Lord is his brother, who you can see on just about on his back here, who is like lying on his back and just sort of like, getting a piggyback. This one is literally like Brotherhood. Like, actual Brotherhood. Like, Lorien, which is the knight, he was, like, literally a knight that protected Lothric itself. He was the guy that originally killed the Demon Prince, back in his day. But he was not fit to become the next Lord of Cinder, essentially. And his brother, his younger brother, who was born not long after he was denied, was apparently, but his brother was weak and sickly, and they shared their curse together. They shared their curse together and bound their souls together as brothers, because at the end of the day, they were done with the whole linking of fire business. They hated the whole thing. So when their father, which is this guy, fell into madness, they literally, I think it was them not linking the fire, or at least them not meaning to link the fire or whatever, that caused everything to happen. So yeah, you essentially have to take their heads and bring them back. This guy is essentially the Hitler of Dark Souls 3. I'm going to put him in B. He is literally the most evil guy in all of Dark Souls, and the reason I say that is because he's the reason why the Dancer and Vault of Beasts, he turned his whole populace into slaves. He starved them to the point where they're fucking ethereal. And he essentially enslaved his higher knights and his like priests essentially into being subservient to this flame, this forever flame that he found in the underground, which is like the first flame, except it just never goes out, and it corrupts people. And this guy, Yorm, I'm going to put in B, because his boss fight is a gimmick, sadly. Yorm linked the fire, not only to prove his people wrong because they hated him, and ridiculed him and stuff like that, but he also did it to snuff out this flame that was corrupting his people. It didn't work, sadly, because he was long dead by the time this guy turned up. And yeah, his boss fight is basically you need to pick up a weapon and just like knocking him his ass completely, constantly. So yeah. I'm just trying to go through these as quick as possible and then talk about the lore quickly about these guys. I can't remember who this is, so I'm just going to put in C. this is Elfrida. That's it, Elfrida. Sister Elfrida. She is the sister of one of the people you find and talk to in Dark Souls 3. And she's related to the Sable Church, which basically is the closest thing we get to a Dark Lord at the end of this game. Essentially, you become the Hollow Lord in that ending. I think I've done this on... I did the ending on this stream, so yeah. I've talked about her in the past, and I got into a long thing on there. So if you want to talk about that, we could... Yeah, I think the VOD's now on YouTube. So if you want to go to that episode, you can do. I'm going to put her in S though, because her boss fight is fantastic. It's a three-phase boss fight. And it tests everything you know about the game. And it's essentially you're fighting with Dark Souls physics, while she's fighting you with Bloodborne physics. So, yeah. So, this guy, the Nameless King, this is Gwyn's son, and I'm putting him in S as well. I'm going to get a drink in a minute, because holy hell, my voice is starting to hurt a little bit. This guy, for the longest time, Dark Souls fans never knew the name of the first son of Gwyn. And everyone thought it was maybe Solaire, it was other people. No. Canonically, this is the Nameless King. This is obviously is the Nameless King, but the Nameless King is the first son of Gwyn. You can tell he's dressed like Gwyn. He's using the same sunlight powers as Gwyn. It's essentially Gwyn, but with a glaive, essentially. And he's riding a dragon. Reason why is we never knew his name is because in the lore of Dark Souls, Gwyn banished his name from all records because his son allied himself with the dragons. Are you getting a drink, baby? Oh, thank you very much. He allied himself with the dragons, and Gwyn hated that so much that he literally forbade anyone ever calling him his name. He was banished completely, and has caused him to make a kingdom far away from everything, from linking of fire and everything, and repopulate the dragons. It's nice to have that little bit of lore got there. Okay, so before, I'm going to talk about... These three are essentially what I call the final end bosses of the series before Elden Ring came out. It's basically it's basically the spiritual successor of Dark Souls, but yeah. Right, so we'll talk about... We'll talk about Medea first. Yeah, let's talk about Medea. Medea is an S. I have 3 favourite boss fights in this entire game. Medea is the second one. Medea is essentially the last example of an ancient dragon in this game. He's also the only example of a dragon being corrupted by the dark. He was taken as... right, okay, so ancient dragons are immortal, but they came from somewhere, so I'm assuming they came from eggs. So, Medea was taken as a baby by the gods and was raised to serve them, essentially. His task was to... Okay, we're going to get into a little bit of deep lore now. Basically, at the end of the war, Gwyn awarded... Because the 30th Pygmy brought out humans, ancient humans, to fight alongside the Silver Knights, to fight the dragons, that he awarded them an entire city after the war with the dragons. So these knights had a home to go back to, essentially. because all of it, essentially, these knights came into battle with no shields, and they came back with shields that are formed from the heads of dragons they had killed. But the Ring City is what they were given, and it was a prison. It was a prison for ancient humanity, for pygmy kind. And Medea was one of the guards. It was the main big guard that was to keep people in the city, but it was painted as a protector of the city. He was, but he was also meant to eat the dark. He was tasked to devour the dark, and because he is an immortal dragon, he could do it forever. Unfortunately, over time, eating so much of the darkness has corrupted him, and one of the people that you meet in the Ring City bids you to kill him before he forgets who he is. But this wouldn't have happened if Gwyn didn't seal the dark with fire. So, in essence, it's all Gwyn's fault. His boss fight, though, is an endurance test. I don't like DPS tests, but I like endurance tests. This guy has such a huge health bar that when people fought him for the first time, it took hours. Now, people could kill him in 5 minutes. But it's one of those boss fights where if you learn it, it is so satisfying to dodge and weave around all of his attacks. And also, the arena is huge, so he can jump up, fly around, carpet bomb the whole place with dark fire. It's amazing. Also, there's this great moment where he powers up for the first time, and you just see the absolute scale of this dragon that you're fighting. It's amazing. And then the second amazing thing about this fight, when you finally kill him and he disappears, and you get a moment to look around your surroundings.
So much better.
You realise you are in the cave where the first flame was birthed. It's amazing. Yes, Gwyn is to blame for the whole series. There's going to be a day where I am going to talk about the Dark Souls lore properly, or in a consistent way on my YouTube channel. So yeah. Now I'm going to talk about these two. These two are related, but you wouldn't think they are. So these are essentially, this is the final boss of the main game. This is the final boss of the final DLC. But here's the thing: they're related more than just that. So, I'm going to put this guy in A, but I'm going to put this guy in S. Right, so. This is the Soul of Cinder. This was the amalgamation of everything that has ever linked the flame before you. In essence, you're fighting, at the first phase at least, you're fighting players. Not actual players, it's not like a PvP fight, but it's it goes through different fighting styles. Like, it uses pyromancy, it uses curved swords, lances, pyromancy, sorceries, miracles, all sorts. And it's supposed to be like, it even uses like skills that you pick up in Dark Souls 1 but don't exist in Dark Souls 3. It's supposed to be like you are fighting the amalgamation of everything that has ever lit the flame before you, and in the second phase, it picks the oldest and greatest soul among them, Gwyn. It takes on Gwyn's fighting style in the second phase, and then you hear this sort of like it's like almost like a crescendo of like chanting and like organs and stuff like that. But when it goes into Gwyn's fighting style, it goes down into a more depressed version of Gwyn's theme, as like it's supposed to be like, this is the end of everything. This is the end. Can you get me a pizza? I'm hungry. No, I ain't got no money, mate. It's supposed to be like once you defeat this guy, you have a choice, that sort of thing. And then we have, quite honestly, the best boss in this whole series, and my third favourite of this game, is Slave Knight Gale. Now, Slave Knight Gale is this is the amalgamation of what everything that's linked with Fire before. This is the amalgamation of the determination of humanity. So, Slave Knight Gale was originally just a normal undead like everybody else. Okay? But he existed in a time where Gwyn was alive. So we're talking thousands of years anyway, from the start of Dark Souls 3. We meet him in the first DLC, the Painted World of Ariandel. He is trying to show his his lady. I'll say that because the lady looks to be about 8 years old, so I refuse to call her his mistress. His lady, the being that he is beholden to as a loyal knight. He wants to show her flame so that the painting of Ariandel could be restored, or actually could burn away, so that they can escape into another painting, so that they can live on. Apparently, this has happened since the Painted World of Ariamis. Ariandel is one of the people you fight in Sister Frida's boss fight, and he had made that Painted World himself. Slave Knight Gale shows you, like, lets you in. He even helps you in the boss fight. You set the painting aflame, and you show the lady fire, and she says she only requires one more thing, and that Uncle Gale, because she refers to him as Uncle Gale, is going to find the dark soul of man as the pigment for the painting. Now, the dark soul has an inherency essentially of immortality, of like the dark, like light equals time is basically what Dark Souls 3 revealed to us. Is light equals time. Without light, there is no time, so it's a timeless state. Therefore, immortality.
I didn't know he was.
Therefore, immortality. So, this painting was supposed to last forever. Not supposed to rot, nothing. And Gale was supposed to find this. It brought him all the way to the Ring City. Now, during the events of the Ring City DLC, we go through what is essentially just sort of like literally the whole world is falling apart at this point, right? Yeah, as you're going through this DLC. Before you even get to the Ring City, it's literally the dreg heap. Everything is falling apart. You see bits and pieces from different Dark Souls, from Dark Souls 3 itself, and you eventually get to the Ring City. But during the way, Gale has been ripping off parts of his cloak to point you to his location, or to point you to a Ring City. And even during the Ring City, he even is pointing the way. And eventually, you get to what everyone tells you is Gwyn's youngest daughter. When you reach her, she wakes up, and from the broken shell of the egg she was carrying, this light appears, blind to you, and then all of a sudden, she is a rotted corpse in front of you, and everything is dust. Everything has ground down to dust. It has literally been so long. It must have been hundreds of thousands of years or something like that, because everything is just dust. It's just ash. Everything, right? There's only certain buildings in the distance that are just barely clinging on. It's just dunes of ash everywhere, of just dust. As you're making your way, what you essentially find is the royal courtroom of the pygmy lords that lorded over the Ring City. But they have existed for so long that their blood had dried in their veins, essentially. If they're that fucking old. And when you find Gale, who is still alive, by the way, he is feasting on the corpses of these pygmies, of these pygmy lords, just to ingest the dark soul. because when you kill him, you find out that the souls can exist in the blood, and that the dark soul was still within the Pygmy Lords, because they were the direct descendants of the 30th Pygmy. You fight him, and during the boss fight, he literally gives in to what is essentially primal dark, the very primal existence of dark itself, and you're essentially fighting almost Artorias in a sense, but it leaves questioning because when you kill him, you get two things: you get the blood of a dark soul, and you get his Gale's soul, right? Which, by the way, the boss fight is fantastic. It's 3 phases, and he fights almost like an animal to begin with. Then he asks one question: is this the blood of a dark soul? And he loses himself completely to this berserker rage, but gets up and fights more like a knight than you've ever seen him fight. And he's like leaping about, he's summoning lightning from the sky. It's amazing. But when you like get his soul, you find that within the soul is a humanity sprite. And it's like he had become humanity itself in that last moment. It's literally just like a great ending point, because at the end of Dark Souls 3, you're left with a question. Because in the first Dark Souls, you lit the fire and the flame is exploding everywhere. But in the second one, in the third one, you light the flame and it's almost like it's flickering out already. You know, it's like it barely has enough strength to set you on fire, let alone everything else. So it leaves you a question: did it actually work? Which is why a lot of people went with the dark endings, the dark endings, quote unquote. You know, the hollow ending or whatever, right? But this one, when you go back to the painting, you give the painter the lady, Gale's lady, you give her the blood of a dark soul, and she, before you beat the thing, it's like she finishes the painting already. So they have an out. They have an out to another world, just in case this one falls to ash and ruin. And that's lovely, you know? There is still hope, and that is what I think Dark Souls 3 is supposed to convey. No matter what happens on the outside, there is still hope. So yes. I'm going to stop talking about Dark Souls 3 now, because we're done about this tier maker. Anybody in chat, is there anything else you want me to list? I was thinking about doing Dragon Ball in a moment. So if anyone wants to see me talk about or rate stuff on tier maker, we can do that. I was going to talk about Bloodborne, but I'm about done talking about the Souls games. Gosh, Impact. Featured video, go see all video game templates. So this is free power ranking. I could have just... yeah, Dragon Ball. Okay, cool. Let's see what Dragon Ball ones we've got. Oh, no, I'm not typing. There we go. We'll talk about Dragon Ball villains, why not? How many villains we got? Oh, that's not as much as I thought it was going to be. Let's put in presentation mode so that people, not blinding people. Okay. So, I'm also going to change up the music just slightly, so bear with me 2 seconds. We'll be doing this in just a moment. Let's put on something that is relevant. Yeah, let's put on let's put on a little something from our favourite vegetable fighter. Oh wait, hold on, what? There we go. Okay. Oh, it even includes the. Oh no, not copy Vegeta. That could go. That could go. No, we're adding another one. We're adding this one. Disgusting. Anyway, I'd kill it. What? What's killed it? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about. Yeah, let's talk about these. Who should we start with? Who should we start with, boys? Well, I know. Well, copy Vegeta first of all could go down there. Fuck copy Vegeta. Oh, add kill it. Right, gotcha. I'll tell you what then. Yeah, let's do it. There we go. Kill it with fire. There we go. I just realised my phone wasn't charging, so... Whoo, oh, God. I hope we have enough charge for the rest of the stream. So, yeah, I don't know the copy of Vegeta Saga. I still haven't watched it. I refuse to watch it. I just don't think it's interesting to fight like Vegeta fights a copy of himself. If I really wanted to see that, I'd watch the Baby Saga all over again. You know. Well, okay. He wasn't really fighting himself realistically, was he? But like, it's basically Goku Black, but with Vegeta. Just you know, at least Goku Black had like an interesting villain. A Kai from another universe wants to kill everything. I'm gonna put him down there because I never have cared for Pilaf. I think Pilaf's annoying. Maybe because I don't have the nostalgia behind like for Dragon Ball because I never watched it. No, it's way worse than Black. Yeah, thought as much. In fact, a lot of these like Dragon Ball heroes, I'm going to end up like not Dragon Ball heroes. What? A lot of these Dragon Ball villains, I'm just apart from like King Vegeta, I'm going to end up putting with Kill It With Fire because like I just don't care. I realistically just don't care. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him there. Who's this? Oh, Red Ribbon. Okay, Red Ribbon's gonna be the exception, along with King Piccolo, because and Piccolo Jr. Because you go Red Ribbon. It's Red Ribbon. Yeah, right. So we're gonna put King Vegeta there. Piccolo Jr. next to his dad, and yeah, let's put them all in C. They're above Kill It With Fire. It's just I don't have the same nostalgia for Dragon Ball than everyone else. Realistically, I only really ever got into Dragon Ball way after Z was done. Like this was like before Super, like when Z was ended, when GT had ended, and there was nothing. Like nothing at all was planned, and then Super came out a couple of years later after I started liking it. You know. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember now. What was the first thing I liked about Dragon Ball? I can't remember. Something got me to start liking it, and I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was a game, but I'm worried that I'm just misremembering Bleach, because that's how I got into Bleach. I got into Bleach from one of the DS games. Okay, so let's talk about a good villain, shall we? Yeah, Raditz. I'm gonna put Raditz in S. I'm not gonna put him in Super T. Even though I love Raditz, I want to see more Raditz. I know Raditz is supposed to be like a villain for one arc and then never again. But like, if we're talking about Vegeta. Sorry, I've got Vegeta on my brain now. We're talking about fucking the main character's brother. I mean, come on. And I thought I was going to be an ad next, and I refuse to have ads. I want to see more Raditz. I want Raditz to come back, basically. I don't care if he's still a villain. I don't care if he becomes good again. I just want more Raditz. Simple as that. That's all I want.
Where's he go?
You're playing Smash. I thought you were talking to me for a second, then. Which... We're missing a Broly on this list, I've just realised. Wait, is this like Super Broly, or is this...
Alright, no, mate. No.
Honey, I need your eyes for a moment. Is that Super Broly, or is that another Broly? Or is that like old Broly? Because I imagine there's supposed to be 3 Brolys here.
That looks like old Broly because he's got the necklace on.
Okay.
Could be Bio.
Oh no, Bio Broly's there. Which, kill it with fire. I hate Bio Broly. Thank you. That is Super Bro. Okay. Hold on, let's zoom in. Whoa. Yeah, no, it is. It's Super Broly. Which I'm gonna put... He's not really a villain, though. I mean, he was an antagonist, sure, but he's not a villain. I'm gonna put there. Yeah, sure. Go for it. Maybe I'm gonna piss a couple of people off, but... I don't know. Old Broly just carries himself with some... He has something that, like, not a lot of villains have. You know? Maybe it's that confidence. Maybe it's that fact of, holy shit, we can do nothing against this guy sort of vibe. I don't know. The one with green hair is Super Broly. Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, true. Even though, oh no, he doesn't really get green hair. He gets, like, sort of a green tint during the thing. No. Oh, man, pissed off for chat, but oh well. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about that movie. Well, okay. I'm not rating the whole movie. I'm just rating the villain here. But you know, it was this thing years ago where it just sort of like, yeah, such and such is powerful, but could they beat Broly? No, I don't accept it. I'm saying, right, yeah, if Super Broly was an actual villain, I'd put him in S up there. But the problem is, he's not an actual villain. He's going to end up becoming I was going to say a rival. It kind of is, but it's like an ally. Well, I can tell you who also goes up there. There we go. Original Frieza. I love original Frieza. He's another one. He's a snarky bastard. He's a snarky, smarmy bastard, and I love him. I always, like, in Xenoverse, despite the fact I'm like, oh, it's a Frieza saga again, I always enjoy the Frieza boss fight in both Xenoverses. And in any of the games, I still enjoy seeing Frieza in it, because I don't think any real villain has come close to that. Super Broly didn't even get a bruise from... oh, no. We're talking... I'm talking back in the day. I'm talking, like... back in the days of, like, end of Z. End of, like, midway through Buu Saga. Like, back when I didn't really like Dragon Ball, I heard people, like, who were into Dragon Ball, who were in my friends group, talking about, going, oh, hey, it was just sort of like, oh yeah, but could they beat Broly though? You know? It's like, yeah, Boo's strong, but could he beat Broly? You know, which I will say, yes, if we're talking, like, smart Boo, like, Buhan, like, I can see Buhan beating Broly easily, because he'll just absorb him. But yeah, yeah, talking about Frieza is just so cool, so cool. And then, like, I'm tempted to put Golden Frieza up there as well, but like, yeah, no, I'm gonna put him in S, but it's nearly in like double S. It's nearly in double S, mainly because I hated how he was killed, but the old Brody was okay, but he looks bad. I disagree with you on that one, to be honest with you. I prefer the old Broly design. I mean, I prefer the new Broly design, but I wouldn't say that the old Broly one was bad. Who should I talk about next? Cooler. Cooler is definitely S. I love Cooler. Cooler is, well, not this one, but... no, yeah, I'll keep him in A. It's still Cooler at the end of the day. I like Cooler. I love the idea of, like, Frieza's more brutal brother. That's such a cool idea to me. Also, like, him just, like, going into, like, what looks to be fucking Shredder from TMNT. You know? I just love that design. Who else? I'm gonna put Boo in B. B for Boo. Purely for the fact I do not like Fat Boo. If we didn't have the Fat Boo thing, I'd put him up here. Because I love Super Boo. I love Kid Boo. I hate Fat Boo. I really do hate Fat Boo. Even now in Super, I just do not appreciate him whatever. I appreciate him in Fighters. But not in the as an actual villain. Metacooler, it is an A. Yeah. I just don't like the big gay star. I think that's I think that's all it is. What?
It's a stupid name.
What, the big Getty star? The Serengeti star. But yeah, Super Android 13. I just noticed who that was. I realised who that was. Super Android 13. If it wasn't for this thing where he turned into a troll doll, I would like him. I would put him in S if that was so. But I just love the idea of like an old android just being upgraded to fight on the level of Super Saiyans.
I would have liked better Cooler if he actually kept his final form.
Yes, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, he would be just.
Now, I want to see that. If they ever bring out back Cooler, I don't want him going into a golden form. I want him to go into a platinum form, because platinum's better than golden. You know? Yeah, if it wasn't for a troll doll thing, I think I'd put him higher. I don't know what this is, so that could go there. Hit's not a villain.
He's not a good guy either.
No, he's an assassin, but, like, so was Tien. So... I don't know what he's doing on this. I'll tell you what. I'm going to add one. I'm going to add one because I'm going to add another one. Like, well, I don't. Add a row below. Why are you even here? There we go. There we go. Why? Like, Champa has more right to be on this list than fucking Hit does, in my opinion, but whatever. Oh yeah, I didn't change the colour of this, did I? We're going to make that pink. Oh no. Yeah, we'll make that pink, and... Hello, thank you. And this one will make grey. Yeah, why are you even here? So, yeah, we can put Hit there. I don't know why he's even here. He wasn't really a villain. It was just sort of like, oh hey, if you don't beat Hit, fucking Earth goes to Universe 6. But it wasn't Hit, but did that. You know, he's just hired. He's just a hired hitman. I'm not going to say that Hit's a bad antagonist, though. I love the idea of Hit. I do question his design though, because it makes him look way too much like a Freezer race person. But I love the idea of an assassin using time to kill people. That's awesome. A bit OP, but this is Dragon Ball. Who else? I'm gonna put up here. I love these two. These are cool. Like, as villains, they are really cool. I feel like they're overly nerfed. I feel like 18 was overly nerfed and 17 was overly buffed in Super. I feel like they should have been like the same strength still. That's just me. Because I'm not being funny. Being a park ranger shouldn't put you on the level of like people who are fighting on a Super Saiyan Blue level. I mean, come the fuck on, you know. But as remorseless killing cyborgs in the future that broke Vegeta's arm, awesome, you know. Tien as a villain, never really like experienced him as a villain, but I do understand he was. So I'm going to put in a respectable B, I think, you know, as a villain. Maybe he did train all the time. Well, I don't know. I wanted to see what he did on fucking Monster Island. Like, did he train like Luffy? Did he learn Haki? Did he release his Bankai? That's all I want to know, you know? Yeah. Jiren's not a villain either. He's just... Right. I'm going to put him in the why you even here tier, mainly because I don't understand why he still exists. Like, I understand we had to have a wall for the Tournament of Power, but I just don't like blank pieces of paper being the wall, you know? Why are you strong? Because I am. I lost my master. And I don't like to have friends. And that's why I'm strong. But to the point of, like, fighting gods? Yes, I am that strong. What training do you do? That's all it was. I trained really hard. That's all it was. It's the power of a time skip. It's true. Luffy got the power of a time skip. We're getting into some really good villains here, actually, to be fair. With the exception of Bojack, I think these rest of them are pretty good villains. Bojack, I'm putting in C, mainly because, like, I feel like, in my opinion, he was the only highlight of the entire movie. But that's just me, and that's not really saying much. I did not like the Bojack movie at all. And I really hate it now, because it was a thing that killed Team 4 Star's love for the Abridged series. They just couldn't... Bojack killed it! Bojack killed it!
Fun fact, Bojack had a transformation.
He did. I learned about that in a What If video.
He just hulks out.
Yeah. He just roids out. Yeah, pretty much. He turns a different shade of green and roids out. Okay, so the rest of these are some pretty good villains. Like, I would hesitate to say that Beerus is a villain, but to be fair, he's more of a villain than these two. So, oh wait, wasn't there another one on here that I didn't understand was a villain? Or did I move him? I can't... Oh, Broly, that was it. I'll put him down there. But if we were to rate these guys, I would say... Hit in S, Jiren and Kill It With Fire, and Broly was up here, or over here as well. So yeah, we'll just put these people back. I'm going to put in S because I still go back to Battle Gods, and I still enjoy it to this day. I really like the character of Beerus. I like how unashamedly evil he can be, or how unashamedly brutal he can be. Like, in the manga, it's a case of, like, him going, my mind is on destruction at all times. You know, there is no good or evil with me. It's just necessary. And that's a great... I think that's brilliant, you know. He's not good, he's not evil, he's not here to pick sides. He's there to destroy, nothing more, nothing less. And he's not mindless like Boo. Because I've seen that mindset done so many times with Boo. But Beerus has a personality. He does have a moral sense of right and wrong. It's just, you know, he has a job to do.
When it comes to destroying the planet, it depends on their good food.
It's true. It's true. Although I do like in the Battle of Gods, it's like, well, time to destroy Earth, and he just shoots a rock, and he goes, oh look, I destroyed Earth. I destroyed a piece of Earth at least. I'll come back later and destroy the whole thing.
Just keep saying that, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he won't do it because yeah, things are just yeah, exactly.
Bulma pretty much saves that planet.
Who?
Bulma.
Bulma, yes.
If she was filthy rich, they would be.
I think I do like the fact that Slug has been beheaded here. Have you seen this image, honey? Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Your slimes are escaping. Run! While we talk about that, I'm just gonna put Cell up here. I'll talk about him in just a moment. I love Cell. He's still one of my favourite villains of all time. Seriously, I will not be angry if Cell appears in this Super Superhero. I will not be angry, because it would make a lot of sense for the Red Ribbon Army to turn around and say, hey, Cell was a really good idea, let's try again. You know, just make him stronger. Or just make him the same, or just do what fucking, Resurrection F did. You know, just make him super strong until, you know, someone turns up. Yeah, look, the beheaded Slug. Anyway, let's talk about Slug. We'll put him in A. Mainly because, again, he's one of those examples of the main villain being the highlight of the movie, in my opinion. Especially, like, the abridged series version. If you're with the government or the IRS, get the fuck off my property. And considering I now own this rock, is effectively everything. Look at Discord. That fucking Beerus pick. Yeah. I love Cell. I love the idea behind Cell. His perfect form is my favourite. His imperfect form is my next favourite after that, and I'm not really a fan of the imperfect form, to be fair with you. But I love the. It was the first time I really did that idea of, like, he's the amalgamation of all the good guys as energy, and he's like, oh shit, like, I think, like, with the exception of Piccolo, he's the only person who has killed Goku. And it's not like, oh, like he accidentally killed Goku and everything. No, Goku was not strong enough to beat Cell. At all. Especially at the end. We're going to put Vegeta up there as well because it's Vegeta. It's Vegeta. He's become the staple of the series and the only reason I still watch. That and Gohan, but yeah. I got more where that came. Nice. Yeah, he's the only reason I still watch Super. That's just me, you know? Yeah. Super is just a massive hit or miss these days. And I'm really... I like the moral arc and I hate the moral arc. But there's nothing I'm liking in the Granola arc, really. And it's gotten to a point where all I'm seeing is just like Goku wankery and it's pissing me off. That's the problem with, like, just as a side note, that's the problem with Dragon Ball. It's gotta be the fucking Goku show. People call it the Goku and Vegeta show. It would be that if Vegeta actually got wins. I think the last win he got was against Toppo. Which is really fucking annoying. Anyway. Mr. Your father was an average scientist, but a brilliant botanist! I've not watched the movie, really, so I'm just going to put it in B. I like the idea of...
What's that one?
Turles. Well, I liked the old lore, where all of the...
Then, before they had Super Saiyans, the Tree of Might was actually really strong.
Yes, it really was.
He had a good idea, but it was just too, again, arrogance.
Yeah, arrogance, yeah. But I also like the old lore on it, where basically all the lower class Saiyans looked alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that old lore, you know? Like, they had somewhat different hairstyles, but they all kind of looked the same, because, you know... But what's the point? I just say the next one is Basti's favourite. Oh, Goku Black. Honestly, I'm putting Goku Black in S. Because looking back on it, it was actually a half-decent thing. And it wasn't Goku Black that was overpowered, it was fucking Zamasu. Zamasu just... Like, this is the problem when you put immortality into shit. It's a great thing for the villains to strive towards, and then you need to stop them from getting. But the problem is when they get it, at what point do you say to yourself, you go, oh yeah, this is good, oh no, shit, what do we do now? How do we get rid of him? You know? They could have ended it, realistically, they could have ended it really poetically if they did it with the demon wave, like, seeding wave thing. I forget what it's called. The thing that Roshi did back in Dragon Ball, like an old technique of Dragon Ball, saving the day. And that's how it should have ended. But no, they had to bring in Zeno to delete everything. Because everyone's fucked up. I don't like that ending, but Goku Black, I like the idea of an evil Goku. Especially like this one, where he's just like unashamedly like, oh no, I refuse to train, but what I am going to do is exploit your race by getting Zenkai boosts, and then getting that powerful. But yeah, that's how I would rate for everyone here. There's a lot more in Double S than I honestly thought there was going to be, but I'm really proud of this decision. Even though I'm half tempted to put Raditz up there, but no, I'm going to keep him in S because he's only done a couple of things. And this was like early days of Z. Where like Goku was in his mid 400s in strength and like Raditz was like 1,500 or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, what should I do next? Which list should I do next? How do I go back? I could go back that way, that's it. I do apologise for blinding everyone every time I come back out. Oh, actually, let's do transformations. Let's keep on Dragon Ball, and we go for all transformations DBZ and DBS. Oh wow, we've got a lot more than I thought we were going to have. But hey, I have. I think we should change the music a little bit as well. Since we have a transformation, why do we do that? Yeah, Super Saiyan 3 transformation theme, why not? There is a lot more transformations here than I honestly thought. Wait a second, hold on. Wait a second. I got adding why are you here thing again. Oh, I forgot how good this theme was. Why are you here? So I'm just gonna go through the list in a minute, and I'm just gonna go through. So base forms. Oh, is this supposed to be like? Oh, we're supposed to rate their base form and then their transformation. Okay, okay, I can do that. All right, fair enough. We'll just get rid of this this row then. That's fine then. Okay then. So we're gonna start off with. Oh, speaking of which, is the volume for the music okay? Gogeta or Vegito? Who is better? Vegito. In my honest opinion, I prefer Vegito over Gogeta. I just think he has a better design. I feel there's a better fusion too, but that's just me. I do like how Boo here is just his chest. It's just his chest. Anyway, let's start then. I would say, first of all, 13, very good, and his transformation, very bad. I love this aesthetic, I really do. I really like this aesthetic of just sort of like, you know, the rugged sort of long-haired trucker man sort of like deal. He's some like country boy from the Hicks, and he's about here to beat the shit out of you. Love that idea. I've just noticed something. Why are some of these images focused on the crotches of the Frieza race characters? What am I don't want to rate the junk. I really do not. Trucker hat. Howdy there. I'm Android 13. Look at my trucker hat. Yeah, but we don't have a base. This is very confusing to me. What is? That's not even a canon transformation. Yeah, whatever. So we'll go with Bardock's ones. These are non-canon, but Bardock Super Saiyan, very good. Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, on the other hand, god tier. Do you know what? I'm just going to say this. All the Super Saiyan 3 transformations, even Gotenks's, are god tier, in my opinion. I just love the long hair aesthetic. Where is Gotenks? Okay, we've got Trunks down here. There he is. Okay, yeah. So all the Super Saiyan 3 transformations, I think, are just absolutely fucking brilliant. Bardock was Super Saiyan 2. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a little bit lightning. Well, it's just basic Super Saiyan 1 transformation. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I just love the whole idea of Super Saiyan 3. The long hair aesthetic, mwah, love it. I just wish it was yes. I just wished it was utilized more. You know, excuse me. I wish it was utilized more. It just annoys me how like Super Saiyan 3